What's up guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server, and today we are gonna talk about everyone's favorite trial of flow, and specifically a technique that I have seen quite a few people use, but somehow felt that they never really explained or showed how it was done and why it was done. To give the name to the beast, this is about dodging waves, and let me just quickly tell you why and how this is done and why it's required. So up until 8, I didn't really feel that this was needed because with a good DPS you could clear on time easily, but on stage 9 and 10 the boss just has so much health, and because of that he does so much healing that the DPS requirements have become a lot harsher, and with certain characters it's pretty hard to beat him now. Not impossible, as you can see I have done this too, but it's not easy. I do not think it's easy, guys. So there is this technique about dodging waves that just makes you able to do more DPS. And this is important because if we check his skills, the problem with him, on top of the massive RNG that can just totally ruin your run, is that all of his skills do so much damage that they will just keep one-hitting your DPS. And there were two ways to counter this really. One was to wear like an M defense necklace with defense stats, so you would have like some block and more M def, and then you wouldn't die to these skills, or that you would use orbs of contact, which would mean that either you didn't use an earring or you didn't use a DPS artifact, and then your DPS was lower than normal. Of course, the rule of waterfall skill, the droplet, you would survive with Love Reels S2 with the correct perk, but Icon of the Sea dispels you, so there was really no way to live through this other than having enough defensive stats. Or was there? There was actually, and some people have used this to quite a lot of success. Xerah, for instance, has a skill that lets her dodge the wave itself, which means that her S2 perk, S2, by being cast, makes her immune to the damage. So if you pick that perk, you can cast the skill during the wave, and then you will not be taking damage. But this takes quite a bit of timing because you need to be casting during the wave, otherwise it dispels your immunity and just kills you. However, you can actually take this one step further, and if you do not use Xerah or have another DPS, or if you use Xerah but don't want to be switching so much, you can use, for instance, Fallen Frey and have her shield the wave the same way that you cast it, essentially after this, the dispel, but before the damage. And that way your entire team will not be taking the damage, and you can keep him in the C form where he does take more damage, and that way you can clear him faster, and you do not need two characters with CC because you just need to keep switching him out of the waterfall form wherever he switches to it. So that's basically the idea here, that you time your shield or your Xerah dodge, or even Mediana works with her S1 in a way that you do not get hit by the wave. You will still eat the attack speed reduction, but the rest doesn't matter. So that's the gist of it, guys, and I'm gonna show you one of my previous runs that I used this technique to actually get a clear, and it was a lot more simple than just going by the normal strategy, like keep switching him around and going with the flow, quote unquote. Haha. But okay, let's switch to the run. So while we are running up, to give you an idea how it's done, when he starts casting the wave, what I usually do is that I count myself loudly to 2 and then wait like a split second, and that's when I cast Frey. You will be able to see this on the first skill. It's about 3 or 4 seconds, but it depends on your own speed. So you see Frey casting the shield, the wave passes by, it did no damage, and then he switches to the waveform and we can do some DPS on him. Now, to set expectations right, to clear 10 you will need a pretty good DPS. A1 I would say at least, but A2 makes it a lot easier, and you will need a fairly beefy Frey as well, because the shield needs to hold through that damage. Here it comes again. You can see me cast, and we did not take any damage, but you can see that we did take the slow debuff, which kinda doesn't help, but it's not the end of the world. And then we just keep him in the C form where he takes more damage, which makes getting the clear easier. And then we keep repeating this basically all along. You can see his health going out down ever so slowly. So that's basically the technique. Time-wise, this is about, I would say, 4 seconds that where you need to be casting, but again, this also depends on your speed. If you have a better sense for rhythm than I do, then this becomes easier. Sometimes I admit I do fail at this and then I just die and have to go at it again, but still it's actually easier for me than to be totally dependent on his RNG to be giving me the good pattern. So I found this to be a lot easier, and I think this is where I actually fail one of the dodges. Yeah, you can see that Xerah lived here because of the darkness debuff, so I got a bit lucky. But not the debuff, so in darkness form she won't die once, like that's one of her special skills. But yeah, one of the good things about Xerah that if you eat the wave during darkness, that you will not die. And you can see he's almost dead now, and I still have plenty of time left if I can manage to like do the right timing. So you see again we took no damage, and then we are free to DPS. Of course he switches out and heals one more time, so we have to switch him back. But yeah, this gave us the luxury that we did only need Rehartna switching, so didn't need any other character to do that. And you can see I do not have a Lavriel soul weapon, and my Rehartner is only base soul weapon. And then this is the run. He tries once more to heal and will bring up his skill, but that's the end for him. He runs out of health and the wave doesn't come anymore. So that's it, guys, really. Wave dodging. I hope it's helpful to you. It definitely helped me to get more steady clears and not lose my sanity so much when trying to do flow. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Either way, I hope you found this helpful. And this has been Cloudie for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.